Aemond is your brother.
Oh, he's a twat.
We are family. You may carve him about as you wish at home, but in the world, we must defend our own.
It was funny.
Do you think Rhaenyra's sons will be your playthings forever? As things stand, Rhaenyra will ascend the throne and Jaceres Targaryen will be her heir.
So?
Oh, you are nearly a man grown. How is it that you can be so short-sighted? If Rhaenyra comes into power, your very life could be forfeit. Aemond's as well. She can move to cut off any challenge to her succession.
Then I won't.
You are the challenge! You are the challenge, Aegon! Simply by living and breathing! You are the king's firstborn son. And what they know, what everyone in the realm knows, in their blood and in their bones, is that one day you will be our king.
From Providence, Rhode Island, welcome to The House of the Dragon with Mary and Blake. It's a podcast dedicated to the House of the Dragon on HBO. So sit back, relax, and let's talk about fire and blood. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. My name's Mary Larson.
My name is Blake, and I know one thing when I go around the Red Keep. Stay away from Aegon's window.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Whatever, there should be a piece of caution tape around that.
Piece of caution tape.
Just figure that out.
That is the same window that a little Lannister walked out of.
Yes, exactly. So just no matter what, just stay away from that window.
Bodies or bodily fluids.
Just who knows? Who knows if you're going to get slimed one way or the other?
Oh, gross. Oh, my gosh. Well, everybody, we are so thankful for you to be joining us here. We want to remind you that Blake and I are also podcasting about Rings of Power that may or may not excite you. You might be like, yay, or you might be like, oh my gosh, really, guys? Yes, we are. So you can look for that in your podcast app of choice, but you can actually find all of our podcast episodes simply by going to maryandblake.com. And we do have a Facebook group that we want to invite you to so you can hang out and nerd out with other friends of the House of the Dragon. And last but not least, this episode is brought to you by MinuteWithMary.com. It's your one-stop shop for all things beauty and skincare. And if you yourself are looking for a new mascara, you can go to MinuteWithMary.com/discount to grab my favorite mascara at 15% off. This is an excellent gift. So maybe you yourself are not a mascara wearer, but you want to gift a loved one who does wear makeup some mascara. Hey, I'll give it to you 15% off. MinuteWithMary.com/discount.
All right, Marvin, what do you got for the episode mini plot recap for 106?
All right, so this is the time jump episode. 10 years approximately have passed. Rhaenyra has 3 sons, and all of them have really dark hair and fair skin. So Viserys, being a sweet dad, he does not want to hear that this could potentially not be children born out of the marriage, but Alicent is like dead set on making sure that everyone knows this is Harwin's sons, of course. Alicent does what she tells Aegon. Daemon and Laena go, and they have a great dragon ride thing, but sadly Laena dies because of childbirth. And Sir Criston figures it out that it is Sir Harwin. Sir Harwin gets killed by his brother, Larys, and Rhaenyra says, "Peace out, Cub Scouts. We're leaving this joint.
We're just going to go to Dragonstone.
Yeah.
See you guys later.
Bye. This place sucks."
Well, episode 106, entitled The Princess and the Queen, directed by Miguel Sapochnik. You should know that name as a House of the Dragon fan because he's the co-showrunner of season 1 of House of the Dragon and one of the primary directors for the later seasons of Game of Thrones. As such, he has directed The Heirs of the Dragon and also The King of the Narrow Sea. And the writer was Sarah Hess. Now, this is a relatively newer name in the Game of Thrones world, but still, nonetheless, somewhat of a very talented writer, but a relatively big name outside of the Game of Thrones sphere. She served as a writer on the show Deadwood, which is one of my favorite shows of all time. If you have not seen Deadwood, go straight to HBO Max. Like right now, hit pause, yes. Go watch Deadwood.
I thought you were asking me, and I was like, buddy, I don't have a pause button.
No, I'm speaking to the listener, my love, because Deadwood is amazing. And so she was a writer on Deadwood. She also served as a writer on the show House as well, and a writer on Orange is the New Black on Netflix. This is her first episode for House of the Dragon, and it looks like she's going to have another one as well. Marvin.
Yeah.
Your Flames rating.
Giving this a 4.8. This is my favorite episode so far.
Really?
Yep.
I am shocked by this decision.
Oh, thanks.
I'm going to give this one a 4.5. I liked this episode. By all accounts, it should not work whatsoever, in my estimation, because of the switch that we have, and we'll talk about that. But it does in many ways. So 4.5 for me, not my favorite episode so far, but again, I see where we're going and I like it. So that is that. Your GBG. What is your good? What is your bad? And what is your great?
Oh my goodness. I know she's dead, and probably my dad's going to say his new favorite character was
Guaranteed.
Was Laena.
Laena.
They killed my new favorite character. Like, we're going to find out. But she's my good.
Really?
She is my good.
Why is she your good?
I absolutely thought that this actress crushed it. This being a character that has now been, is this the same one from The Wedding, or did they recast?
Same one.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. I apologize. The actress is different.
Yeah.
It's the same character.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Laena has been recast three times. There's been 3 of her.
Yeah, so there. Good point. Sorry. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So she was super young.
Yes.
Hey, let's get married as long as I don't bed you before I'm 14.
Or whatever it was. Then there was the one at the wedding.
Yes.
Sorry about your dead wife. And now this one.
Yes.
And I absolutely love how I have believed that it's been her every single time.
Sure.
She has kept her strength and her sassiness since even being that young child who was willing to get married.
Yeah.
I loved her caring for her children, how she spoke to Daemon. I think that she was just such a strong, awesome, badass woman riding the largest dragon. And then even making sure she got the Dragonrider's death. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. Yes. Kick ass. My bad. Birth sucks. And you want to know something? House of the Dragon is not shy about letting you know.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Thank goodness for modern medicine and C-sections.
Not great, Bob.
I could have watched this show if I was pregnant. I don't think I could have watched this show before I had children and still wanted to have children because they are showing you how rough it is for anyone who had no idea that, yes, your body still has contractions after you give birth to a baby because you still have to push out the placenta, aka the afterbirth. And then even after the afterbirth, you still have contractions for days. I loved how Laena was just like, oh, what's wrong? As Rhaenyra's at the bottom of the stairs. Buddy, I've given birth now fully 3 times. I'm still actively having contractions. All right. So, yeah, my bad is birth sucks. Birth sucks. Whether
Birth
you live or
sucks.
die,
One way or the
birth
other.
sucks.
There's nothing good about it.
Okay, I took a hypnosis class to try to tell me that it was warm hugs. Didn't work.
Not a warm hug.
Didn't work. I saw YouTube videos where people actually orgasmed while they gave birth.
I use what?
Yup, there's a thing. There is a thing. People like very few, but people orgasm.
How is that a thing?
I don't know. Maybe the baby hits the right spot on the way down. I don't know.
Oh my goodness gracious. Well, maybe the baby can find it, which men can't.
Oh my goodness. So, but that didn't happen for me.
Mm-hmm.
It
definitely didn't happen for you. I'll tell you that.
I bit people.
You bit me.
I know, and I bit our doula. Anyway, and then
I mean, she didn't go full zombie, ladies and gents. Our hands, unfortunately,
They
were
were
in the
placed-
vicinity
yes.
of her mouth.
Yeah, and I was biting the bed. I didn't have a stick. If this was like the old days and I was out in the woods, I would have just
bitten
bit
the
a
stick. Yeah.
stick.
I should have given
Whereas-
you like a leather strap.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Now I see why people bite things.
Okay, so here's a tip, gentlemen or ladies. When your partner is giving birth, keep your hands away from their mouths. In whatever way they're
Particularly if this birth is not medicated like mine.
yeah,
was.
like if your hand is near their mouth,
Watch out.
You got to rethink that choice.
They may go zombie like me. But I loved Rhaenyra's mooing essentially because she must have gone on YouTube, that actress,
Certainly.
to get authentic.
Because it wasn't
birth
like
sounds.
this big, huge production.
No,
I mean,
it felt very authentic.
Yeah, the birthing of the child felt true to what birthing actually is.
But it sucked. So if it scared you, that's real. That's real.
Yes.
And then my great Viserys.
In what capacity?
Oh, that man. He is such an optimist. And I know he has to die soon.
He's definitely.
He has to.
He is using the secret. He's like, everything is great. I'm just
my
so
gosh.
happy.
Look at these boys playing together. This is what it's all about. Oh my gosh, Rhaenyra, you want to marry your kid to our kid? This is amazing.
His gratitude journal must be volumes.
I love
long.
seeing my grandson. Oh my gosh, he has my son-in-law's nose.
Isn't it great?
Oh, he is all about the optimism. That sweet little puddin' of a man.
Hey, what does his vision board look like? That's the question I have for you, Mary.
Oh my gosh. The first off, the big thing in the middle of the center
Yeah.
is family is everything. Okay, it's just big words. Family is everything. And then he actually has had he's had Eddard, his stone carver person.
Yes.
Actually, who's also a great artist with pen and paper. He's drawn pictures of Rhaenyra and Alicent hugging and holding
okay.
hands.
Are they lifelike or are they anime?
Anime.
Okay, yeah.
Anime versions,
Yes.
of course, because that makes it more happy with the big eyes.
Yes.
And the big smiles with like the stars coming out of their eyes. And then he has also pictured his grandsons and his sons holding hands. So dark hair, light hair, dark hair, light hair. Skipping.
Does he have an ornament with the whole family, but each of them has dark and light hair?
Yeah, he went to the mall and he got the like bear version. You know, the bear. So it's like the big bear is him. So it says daddy, mommy, princess,
and Grampy.
and then son-in-law. And then it's dark hair, light hair, dark hair, light hair. Or light hair, dark hair, dark hair.
Yeah.
That's how it
Well,
goes.
because light hair is what counts most.
That's what I'm just picturing is him with his vision board.
Yeah.
He's got all of the family tchotchkes.
So many tchotchkes.
Not just the ornaments, but you know the ones with the character sitting on a couch. You know, it's like bears. It's like a figurine thing, like, but you keep it out all year long. It's not just like just ornaments. They have things that you have all year long, and you know how people will have like a pet. He even has on the back of his minivan.
I was just gonna say,
is the family stick figures.
He stole the words literally out of my brain.
And instead of having the cat or dogs, it's little dragons. And he includes his grandkids.
My grandson is a straight A student.
Yes.
At the Red Keep
Yes.
school.
Of swordsmanship. at Sir Criston's school of swordsmanship. Yes, proud dad of an honor roll student of sword buckling. Proud grampy of Sir Criston Cole's school. So he's my great. I think he has all the bumper stickers, all the tchotchkes.
All over that carriage. That carriage is just covered. You know those cars that you see that you don't even see the color of the color of the car anymore? It's just bumper stickers.
Yes.
That's King Viserys' carriage.
You know how there's like Fur Mom?
Oh, yeah.
He's got Scale Dad.
Scale Dad.
Viserys, I know you're not long for this world, but I love you, and you are my great because of your optimism.
You know, Mary, you've come a long way on Viserys, and I'm so happy about that.
I just got to give it to him. I got to do it before he dies, so I'm not like my dad. My great is the person who died.
That's true. Good point.
Yep.
By the way,
what?
With every episode, that guy is one step closer in turning into the Crypt Keeper. That guy
slash Gollum. He's got the same hairstyle as his Gollum.
Absolutely. He's missing his arm now. I mean, he's got problems.
He has it. I didn't notice he was
didn't
missing
see that?
it. I was just so happy for him. I didn't even notice his physical limitations. I didn't even notice. I was just so focused on his smile. How did he hold the baby?
One arm.
Oh, like a football.
Yeah, like a football. He just carried him.
The football hold. Okay, how about you? What's your GPG?
All right, so my good is the fact that there's a shot where Rhaenyra is staring out the window and she has the baby and everything. And if you remember a couple of episodes ago, she says to the queen, where she's like, listen, I don't want to end up in this castle just pumping out babies and being stuck here. Like, I want to live my own life. And implicit in that shot is that's what she ended up doing. And no matter what she has done, no matter how powerful she was or is as a character, she still had the same fate. And I find that fascinating. I love that visual storytelling, and I love, again, excuse me, my throat today. It's in the morning, ladies and gents. We're recording this later than normal, so thank you for your patience. But I just love the fact that the show is able to tell that story without actually telling it. It's able to show it to you. And again, this is what happens when you engage with a show. You remember those couple of things that were said a couple of episodes ago, and now you have the same fate. And that shows you the journey that she has been on over these past 10 years or so. And despite where we all thought where she was going, she still ends up the same. And oh man, excellent stuff. I also have another good, and that is also a callback to earlier on in the season where Daemon has to make the same choice that Viserys makes in the first episode. And obviously Daemon decides, listen, let's save my wife because that's what I want to do. And I love the mirroring effect here because Daemon decides, let's save my wife, and she chooses to take her own life.
Well, she knows that she can't be saved. That's what it comes down to. They can't save her.
Well, yeah,
what they can do is potentially save the baby, or they both die.
Right, but what I'm saying is she chooses to take her own life regardless, right?
She wants the Dragonrider's death.
Yes. Whereas Viserys makes the choice, save the baby, and his wife, Aemma, did not. She put up a fight. Like, she did not want that to happen.
Yes.
And I just love the mirroring effect here and what that means for both men, the choices that were made, what that says about their wives, and how that is going to affect what happens later on in the story. So I really greatly look forward to what happens with Daemon after this episode. So, man, my throat today. My bad. Larys Strong, I think, is a cool character. However, my sense for Larys Strong is that it went from 0 to 100 real quick. And I wish that there was like just somewhat of a middle point between, oh, hey, let's gossip with the queen, to then I'm going to go kill my dad and my brother. So yeah, yay. Like, I just wish, like with little finger. Why did I say middle finger?
I don't know, but I'm here for it.
With little finger, you knew that there was things chugging along here, and when eventually, spoiler alert, he does to Eddard, what he does to Ned Stark. When that happens, you were like, oh yeah, okay, I get that. With Larys, I don't get that feeling.
I did the moment he was sitting down with the ladies at tea.
Yeah, but that to me is different. That to me is just like that to me feels like that's his superpower, where the planning and scheming and all that other stuff, that seems to me to come out of nowhere. But like getting information and using that information, that feels right to him. Do you see what I'm saying?
I do.
But the plotting and the scheming to kill somebody, that feels, and it doesn't feel that it's not natural. It just feels like, again, 0 to 100 real quick. Like it's almost like they needed a narrative villain, and this is the way to get to that. And that is like, okay, Alicent, guess what? I'm going to be your bestie and I'm going to kill people for you without you even asking me. And we should fear him as someone who is capable of doing that. But I don't know. It felt like, boom, rushed. Here it is.
Okay. All
right. My great, though. My great, obviously, is the one-shot scene of the birth. I mean, that one-shot scene of the birth is spectacular. And not only is it the one-shot scene of the birth, but it's also the trek all the way to the stairs. And she looks up at the stairs and it's just like, fuck. I love that scene because it shows us everything that we need to know. And that, of course, is what the birthing process is like, at least in this world. But more importantly, it shows you the determination of the character. It shows you the tension that exists between Rhaenyra and Alicent, the relationship shared between Laenor and Rhaenyra. Everything. The whole thing is just... It is specifically and solely and purposefully focused on Rhaenyra as a character. And, these one take kind of shots are really important because, as we've always said, that's where a show or a film gets to flex their muscles a little bit. That's where it says, hey, look at me, I'm awesome. And it does that for action or tension or thrills or, something that is larger than of an emotion than what just multiple takes can give you. In this particular instance, my thought is reality. Like it never shies away from Rhaenyra because the whole process and the entire fulfillment of what is happening has to be on Rhaenyra and the choices that she has to make, knowing what's coming, knowing what she's going to have to do, and that she will not let her child out of her sight because she's kind of scared. Maybe she's a little scared of what's going to happen to that child. And she's like, nah, if something's going to happen, I'm going to be with it. And maybe there isn't anything. Maybe Alicent didn't have any, plans or ideas to do anything to the child. However, the fact that Rhaenyra thinks that shows you that something is going on. And it shows you her just natural and complete and utter exhaustion from the birthing sequence. And it is spectacular. That one shot is, to me, it's probably the best thing the show has done so far.
Agreed.
I don't know what else the show has done that tops that yet. And I don't even know if anything comes close yet. So that is my thoughts. That's my GBG. So, you ready for the small council feedback?
I am.
Let's do it.
His Grace has many cares. He entrusts some small matters to us that we might lighten the load.
We are the lords of small matters here.
All right, we got a bunch of voicemails. You ready for them?
Yes, I am.
All right, let's see what we got here. First one comes from Heather.
Hi, Mary and Blake. This is Heather Wilson calling from Silver Spring about
Heather.
episode
Hi, Heather.
5, Partings.
Oh, nope, sorry. That is for Rings of Power. Whoops, made a mistake there, ladies and gents. Here's the real one.
Hi guys, it's Glow for House of the Dragon, episode 6. Giving it 5 flames. It was amazing from start to finish. That opening scene, holy crap. A true testament to the strength and power of women.
Your cousin from Boston.
There you go. Thanks, Gloria.
In one long take. Did you notice that?
I did.
Was it terribly painful, he said? And look, the look she gave him. Oh my God, like, don't even do it. Now, I understand the 10-year time jump, but I still feel denied the chance to see Alicent and Rhaenyra grow into adults. I mean, all the actors are wonderfully talented, but I don't know why the showrunners made this decision. I think Helaena is a dreamer. Alicent is clearly no longer a pushover. She is very intense and kind of scary. I don't even want to talk about Sir Criston. Oh my God, I hate him. But how is he even still there? Why wasn't he killed or at least banished? That's all I'm saying. My good was Rhaenyra and Lenore. I love their relationship. It seems like the healthiest one in King's Landing.
Great.
My bad is Larys. All day, every day. And I think Otto, and I thought Otto was the first Littlefinger. No, Larys is. He's a monster, total D-bag.
Yep, I agree.
My great, not because I liked it per se, but because of what it meant, how good it was in every aspect, and the fact that Laena got to make the choice herself. She went out like a boss, her own boss. And poor Vhagar, oh my God, he was so reluctant to kill her. Did you hear him whimper? Like he didn't want to do it. Oh my God, I was really moved. And Daemon, man, what are you doing?
What are you doing? Mary, I have a question for you, and I think it's the one that probably most of the fandom is debating right now, and that is, what are we doing with the time jump here? And did it work for you? Did you believe the characters? I mean, I know we talked about Laena and how you felt about her, but we do have some questions here for this large time jump. How certain people are recast, certain people are not recast. Tell me your thoughts. Number one, about the actresses and how they are, and the other people that have been recast. But number two, did it work?
Yeah, I believed it all. I loved it. I love who they chose. I think they did a beautiful job. I think that the younger versions probably studied the older versions. I bet you they filmed out of order so that they could see the older versions acting, facial, tone, and then studied that. So that way, I believed it very much so.
And do you think do you think the show benefits from this large time jump, or do you think it takes away from the large time jump?
I like it. I think that the past 10 years otherwise would have just been a lot of the same, you know? So I think for us to now be put this far and to see the drastic difference of Alicent and Rhaenyra and of what is just now expected and normal.
Sure. I've got a take on this. And it's a developing take, so bear with me as the nerds down the hall have been working on this take for quite a while now, okay? You know, we all kind of fell in love with Rhaenyra, and Alicent, the younger actresses, and we kind of fell in love with how the show was portraying itself in the first 5 episodes. The chemistry that was involved, all of it, right? But I got the sense when I watched this episode that it's not about necessarily Rhaenyra and Alicent and that whole crew as we thought it was going to be, baby. Rather, and I know that this is relatively, straightforward and kind of like obvious, but it's not about one particular line of characters or one particular generation of characters. The show is going to be about multiple generations of characters. And I got this sense when Alicent is talking to Aegon and she says, everybody knows that you're going to end up being the king. And then I got serious Crown vibes from all of it, because The Crown, the show in and of itself, is about, yes, it's about the queen, but it's about all the other people around the queen's life and how they both help inform and dictate what the queen does and vice versa. And having multiple people play the same roles or whatever, it shows you that it's an ongoing evolution. And the show, regardless of whoever is playing Rhaenyra or Alicent or Laenor or whoever, it doesn't matter. The show is about the Targaryen line itself. It's not, we can't just focus on, Rhaenyra is the main character or
Hi guys,
or Alicent is the main character or whatever. No, it is the Targaryen line itself and how all of these people, as they grow older, are making choices and making decisions that affect the younger generation. And you would think, Alicent and Rhaenyra have learned from their fathers or whatever, so they're not going to make the same choices. Yet they are. And how those choices are going to help form the fight that is coming between their children. Mm-hmm. So I recognize now that let's not worry about who was recast and why and if they work or if they don't or whatever. Does the story itself work as a result of the time jump? That is what matters to me. And I say yes. I think it does, because it skips all of the crap and gets us right to the meat. We talked about Rings of Power. Give me the meat and give it to me raw.
Yes.
Okay. And that I think is what House of the Dragon is doing, albeit in a different way. I don't think we've necessarily seen a show have these kind of time jumps in this style, multiple times in one season. And by the way, we're in line for another time jump between episodes 7 and 8.
I had no idea.
Yeah, I just read it the other day. So it's an interesting thing. All right, let's get to the next one.
Mary, Blake, it's Pete from Tewkesbury in the
Pete.
UK.
Hey, Pete.
How are you?
Mary and Blake Hall of Fame caller.
Yes.
Speak. I'm going to start off by saying, Mary, your dad is brilliant.
Yes.
Please set him up with a podcast of his own. I could listen to that calming voice all day long. So I was blown away by episode 5's wedding, just pure sensory overload and tension. I am missing, however, some of the early season humour that Game of Thrones had. In comparison, episode 6 felt really difficult to adjust to. We could have done without being plunged into yet another intense childbirth scene before very rapidly having to work out who the hell all the emotionally damaged kids were to go along with the emotionally damaged adults. For example, and let's try and get this straight, Daemon and his wife Laena have 2 daughters called Rhaena and Baela.
Yes.
So that's Laena, Rhaena and Baela. Why not throw in Ethelfled, Ethelhelm, Ethelwold and Ethelred from The Last Kingdom as well to make it even more confusing? I will need to rewatch the episode to get my head around it, and I suspect I'll be on Google trying to work out who's who. Ultimately, I don't mind that, as I'm very much into Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon, but will the more casual viewer want to go to that effort? It would be a shame if instead episode 6 made them throw the towel in. Great job as always, you two. Love the podcasts. All the best, Pete.
Thank you, Pete.
Thank you, Pete. Mary, Pete brings up a great question. Does the casual viewer give up, do you think, on all of this? Like, it's a lot. It's a lot.
I don't think so, but it's hard from... I'm jaded. Not jaded, but
Well, you're a nerd,
I'm
so
dedicated.
you're in.
Yeah.
And I think maybe... this is a good question too. Does the casual viewer come to a podcast like ours or any of the other, House of the Dragon podcasts that are out there? Do they come to podcasts to get more information and more clarity? That's the real question.
But if they're just a casual viewer.
Right. So that's why I'm asking. Does a casual viewer do that?
No.
What do you think a casual viewer does? Do they just watch and get confused and say,
they watch it and if they're confused, they Google it.
Okay, fair enough. Hopefully they're Googling our podcast. Well, Pete brings up a great question. We got a lot of kids. So I thought, why don't we just go down the list of the kids right now? So that way, we understand who they are, right? First, we have Aegon Targaryen, who is Alicent's first child with the king. That is who we know is yanking his wanky out the window. And he is actually played by David Tennant's son.
Very cool.
So that is a good Harry Potter reference for you guys.
You're a wizard, Harry.
As Barty Crouch Jr. # spoilers. The next one is Helaena Targaryen. She is the one that was playing with the centipede, who seems to be on some sort of she seems like she has some sort of autistic characteristics, because she is really specifically focused on the centipede, counting the legs and the whole thing. She seems like she is they're building that character for a particular purpose. Mm-hmm. And then we have Aemond Targaryen, who is also Alicent's child with the king. Aemond is the one that was almost Dracarys'd into the planet by one of the other dragons, because he does not have a dragon, and they teased him with the pig who has wings and is just, he's getting picked on.
Yeah.
The next one is
He's the one I think we need to watch out for.
What do you mean? Oh, Aemond?
Yeah.
Oh, how come?
Because the kid who's bullied.
Yep.
Gets a lot of pent up frustration.
Fair enough. I feel you on that one. All right. The next one is Viserys Velaryon. That is the firstborn child of Rhaenyra and Laenor. Mm-hmm. And that is the one that gets in the fight with Aegon. And that is at Sir Criston's School of Swordsmanship.
Yes.
And then the next one is Larys Velaryon. He is the younger child, the middle child of Rhaenyra and Laenor. And then the youngest one that was just born at the beginning of the episode is Joffrey Velaryon, who is named after, obviously, Laenor's original boyfriend. And that's what it is. The next one is Baela Targaryen. That is the firstborn daughter of Daemon and Laena. And the next child is Rhaena Targaryen, the second-born daughter of Daemon and Laena. So we have Rhaena, Laena, and Baela, as Pete had pointed out.
It's a lot.
And not only do we have Rhaena, but we have Rhaenyra and Rhaena now. So what do you think about all the similar names, and are we going to be able to keep it straight? That's the real question.
No.
There's no chance. Absolutely right, Pete. Where is Ethelhelm, Ethelfled, Aldhelm, Aelfled, like the whole... if you're a Last Kingdom fan, by the way, go to maryandblake.com or just search it on Apple Podcasts. Mary and I did a podcast for The Last Kingdom. It was a lot of fun. We did all 5 seasons. It was excellent. So those are all the children, Mary, just to go over that. All right, we got another voicemail here. Let's go.
Hey guys, it's Afrin here.
Afrin! My personal narrator of my life, Afrin. Oh, Afrin, it's great to hear you.
I'm leaving a voicemail about the 6th episode of House of Dragon. I think I can honestly say there is not a single episode of Game of Thrones that has enraged me as much as this episode.
Wow.
I'm so sad that all the freaking characters that I gunned for in like the first 20 minutes of this episode just freaking died. Harwin Strong, basically actual positive male character, dead. The hand, basically the best hand Westeros has had, where he's actually like not self-serving and seems to be quite sensible, died. And then Laena, badass woman. Also, what is up with these writers being absolutely obsessed with horrific childbirth scenes? This needs, I'm like, is there like a woman on this writing team that is going to be like, guys, let's call it on this form of really quite traumatic visual horribleness, really. I'm fairly certain there are people that have kids and are okay. And the fact that, like, Rhaenyra had what would be considered maybe like a positive birth story in the vein of this narrative because she didn't die. And they basically...
Well, so here's the deal, ladies and gents. When you call Mary and Blake Media, you get 90 seconds and you get cut off. That's it. You get 90 seconds and it's okay. However, because Afrin is my personal narrator of my life, she's getting another one. So here you go, Afrin. Normally, you get one and that's it. Afrin gets two because she's special.
Stars, I got cut off. But yeah, basically, she still was not allowed any peace at the end of her labour. But also... just saying, I am really ready for Daemon to come back to Westeros and get together with Rhaenyra, and they need to like mess up this Queen Alicent woman, because if she rolls her eyes one more time, I'm generally a pretty calm person, but basically
I'm generally a pretty calm person. You know what's coming next? Ain't great.
Everyone in this episode pissed me off. Also, I'm really intrigued by what the deal is with the whole rats running around in, like, whenever there's an important scene, there always seems to be like this rat at the end of the episode running away. And I don't know if it's meant to be a sign of Viserys' reign just being like stanky and descending into crap, or if it is like the creepy clubfoot guy, if he is doing some kind of warging into the rats and that's how he gets his bots. I want to know what the deal is with the rats. But yeah, thank you guys so much for podcasting. You're just awesome. And I'm really sorry for how aggy I've been in this voicemail, but thanks for listening.
No problem, Afrin. Mary, let's answer Afrin's question. Your take. What is your hot take on the rats, what they mean, what they are giving the story, and everything in between?
Oh, I wish they could warg. That would be so cool. Warging. I don't think anyone else is magical right now. So I just see the rats as symbolism.
That's great, Mary. And that is something that is excellent to point out. Very little magic so far in House of the Dragon. And like very little mysticism so far in House of the Dragon. Whereas, you know, in the beginning of Game of Thrones, we were introduced to that pretty much right away.
Where's the nanny who's going to tell you all the spooky stories?
Oh, old Nan telling you, babies freeze in their mother's arms.
I need an old Nan.
You need an old Nan. So, yeah, you think it's just symbolism for the rats at this moment?
Right now, I do.
What do you think it is symbolizing for the rats, Mary? Is it a symbol of, as Afrin said, that it's the downfall of Viserys' rule? Is it a symbol of, as Afrin said, stankiness? Is it a symbol of death and foreboding? Is it a symbol? What do you think the show is trying to say when it shows these rats?
Well, first off, just that there's dirty stuff going on because rats are dirty and it's terrible.
They carry disease.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a huge thing. Like, he is sick with a disease, and I also think that there's multiple people sneaking around that he is unaware of.
Oh, I like this take. I like that. He just doesn't see, or better yet, he chooses not to see.
Yes.
Because the rats are they're not hiding necessarily.
No, he sees one in this episode.
But what I'm saying is he still chooses not to see. Like, yes, he sees it, but he chooses not to.
Yes.
And that, I think, is something that is also really important that happens in this show, too, which is the king is just, he's kind of putting his head in the sand about all of this. And he's just like, okay, let's be happy. Where's my carriage with all my bumper stickers? Whereas everybody else is seeing the stuff that is happening. And they're kind of all going along, but everything is bubbling up at the surface. And it's only going to take, I think, it's going to take something very small to break the veneer. You know, where the king is choosing not to see. Alicent is doing the very opposite, and I think that's a huge thing.
You know, rats do whatever it takes to survive. Rats even can survive off of eating poop.
Ugh.
But I'm saying that because there are people who are doing what it takes to survive.
Yes. Including eating blood.
Things that we may, aka Viserys, may never even comprehend. So,
all right, Mary, you ready for your dad segment?
Yes.
Okay. Hold on, I gotta get it up here because the freaking button ain't working. Hold on, here it is.
Hi, it's Mary's dad again. Boy, what a week. This week, episode 6. So much happening. So many people disappearing. Again, getting killed off. Everyone except the king. The one person I thought would be gone is still alive and kicking. It was really sad to see Layla get killed off. Laena. It seemed like she was having a very stabilizing influence on Daemon. He was almost becoming a regular family guy there. But it was pretty impressive the way she went out. Larys, oh my gosh, she's turned out to be the supervillain here, killing his brother and his dad in order to get in better with the queen. And I thought it was unfortunate that the queen decided to reject the proposal that Rhaena put out there. I thought that was a pretty good idea. It was a way to settle the disputes between the families. But boy, the guy that got me the most, the thing that I thought was the central event, was when the boys were dueling in the courtyard, and Sir Criston was just showing all of his pent-up hostility towards the princess by letting the queen's son pummel the crap out of her kid. And it was amazing that the Criston... hang on one second.
It looks like he got cut off. Unfortunately, we don't have another one from him, so he didn't get a chance to finish his thought.
Next time?
Just call back again, Dad. Just call back again, and hopefully you'll finish your thought.
Yeah.
But Mary, your dad brings up a great point, Sir Criston. Suddenly, I don't think I've ever seen a character go from like a person who is widely loved and widely praised and widely lauded as Sir Criston to within about 5 minutes being absolutely despised by an entire fandom. This guy went from 0 to 100 in the wrong way.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on Sir Criston and calling Princess Rhaenyra a see you next Tuesday?
I mean, I loved when Alicent was like, buddy, that's beneath you. Come on.
Good point.
That's not how we roll. I mean, because this has been a decade.
Yeah. 10 years. 10 long years of like
being mad and crabby at her. And then she basically upgrades to a bigger, taller, hotter knight.
Nicer.
Yeah. Like she definitely has a type.
She definitely has a type.
But she got the upgrade. She got the new iPhone 14 that is like Josh Groban on steroids.
Verizon called her and said,
"You raise me up." Oh, I sure do. I sure do.
Oh,
that's what she said. No.
Oh, no. You know what? You're right. You're 100% right. If I could find my button.
You are slow right now.
I am. Like I said, it's the morning. I don't know. Where is my button? I don't. Oh, here it is.
That's what she said.
You're welcome.
So, this character, Sir Criston, I got to tell you, whew, man. The road he's been on has been a bumpy one, and we're seeing the results of that right now. And Sir Harwin, however, after, by the way, picking Princess Rhaenyra up at the wedding and just carrying her out, like wherever he took her to, he obviously swept her off of her feet right then and there. And I love that the show doesn't come out and say it, but it shows it to you right away. And even Alicent with that burn, the straight up burn of the century on Laenor, when she's like, do keep trying, Sir Laenor. Hopefully one will come out looking like you at some point. Oh my goodness gracious. That was a burn for the ages. I love that the show makes you try to figure it out. And again, in the same vein, the show tries to make you figure out the time jump. There's no, lower third that says 10 years later. There's nothing that tells you, okay, this is that far into the future. You just have to put it all together. And again, the show has been going on without you, while you've been, in your homes doing your own work and, cooking dinners and everything. The show has gone on, and you just happen to see a version of what it wants to tell you at that time. And I love that the show just refuses to give in to normal tropes, and it refuses to give in to what we would think is a natural narrative that would do, that would best serve our purposes as an audience. I get why some people are uncomfortable with the time jumps, but I think, as we said, Mary, it's given us the meat, and it's given it to us pretty raw here. Tell me your thoughts about Sir Harwin. Are you in on Sir Harwin, even though he's dead? Are you like, do you like him? Do you not like him? What's the deal?
My God, I'm in love with him. As I said, he essentially looks just like Josh Groban, but one who's taken the Gaston, 5 dozen eggs for breakfast every morning to help me get strong diet. Mm-hmm. And I love it. I think he's a great father figure, even though the kids don't really know. Mm-hmm. Let me think what else. Yeah, I think he cares for Princess Rhaena because, he's the one that rescues her during the wedding. He's the one that goes in when there's the big mob of Sir Criston Cole beating up Joffrey. He's the one that dives in and rescues her. They obviously have a bond with each other. I just love Sir Harwin. I'm sad he's gone. I'm a fan. That would have been the soldier that I would have wanted to tap to. I bet he has a great singing voice, just like Josh Groban.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Even though every one of the Josh Groban songs sound the same. It's the same song.
No.
It's just different words.
No.
It's all the same song. The person that we really haven't talked about, Mary, is Daemon in this episode. And one of my favorite scenes that this show has done so far also was in this episode, and that is with Daemon. And that is when Laena goes to see him and she says, what are we doing here? Like, you can't possibly take this guy's offer of helping him out, because Daemon and Laena are in Pentos, right? And there has been a new version of the Triarchy where they're trying to take over the whole area again, but with a partnership from the Martells in Dorne. So we began the show with the Triarchy trying to take over the Stepstones with the Crab Feeder. It didn't work. Daemon puts it down. They retreat back to their area. They come up with a new plan, the Triarchy does, and now the people in Pentos are looking for Daemon to once again put the Triarchy down. And they offer this to him, and they say, you can have everything that you need here in Pentos. Just give us a hand. Daemon is the one that is considering this. But recall that he went to Pentos and he went to this area to get away from Westeros and from all the stuff that happens in the Westerosi politics. But Laena does this thing where she says she recognizes that Daemon's kind of full of crap.
Mm-hmm.
He's full of crap because as she walks into that room, she sees him poring over those stories and poring over the histories of Westeros and the Targaryen family. And I love this scene because it shows you, it shows you the kind of person and the contradictory nature and almost that self-loathing nature that Daemon has about himself. And then when he's probably had a couple of too many fire whiskeys on the roof, he again continues that vein of self-loathing. Like, it's just, I love what they're doing with Daemon as a character. And what did you think, Mary, about how they handled that and how they handled the relationship between Daemon and Laena? And what do you believe them as a couple? And do you think that they were a happy couple?
Oh my gosh, I loved this relationship. I mean, first and foremost, he's not like cut my wife open to see if there's a boy in there. I mean, that was beautiful. I really enjoyed. I think that this is the healthiest relationship that Daemon's had.
Mm-hmm.
Out of all the people I've seen him interact with. And yes, they want different things. She wants to leave, he wants to stay. But disagreements like that do happen in marriages, right? Like, not everybody is hunky-dory all the time. Laena saying, I'm not the person that you would have wanted, but we are what we are. But they're not fighting about it. They're not like yelling at each other. You didn't even want me. It's as hell. When they're riding on their dragons and laughing at each other, know that it may not be his perfect match, but is there one for Daemon? I think not. But they do seem to enjoy each other. They do seem to balance each other out really well.
Yep. Lastly, Mary, I want to call out the fact that how did Laena get out of the birthing scene? Like, how did she leave that room and just kind of just walk away with all the blood pouring down? And like, nobody was like, hey, Laena, why don't you sit down? Why don't we chill out here? Yet she walks out to Vhagar. By the way, Vhagar, the dragon, is the dragon that she talks about as a child with Viserys.
Yes.
So I just find that amazing that Vhagar was found and that Vhagar does bond with her.
When she's 15, she makes sure she finds it.
Yes, absolutely. So I just love that.
Beautiful woman.
But she goes out to Vhagar and she says Dracarys, and he doesn't want to do it. The dragon doesn't. But like, how did nobody stop her?
She was going to die anyway.
I know, but don't you feel like that is
She probably looked at them and said, I don't even want to be here. Let me go walk. And the guy said, I've done everything I could.
Yeah.
So what are they going to do? Say, no, you can't go for a walk? She didn't say, I want to go get burned to a crisp. Thank you very much. But she just probably said, leave me alone. I want to walk. And they thought, this is her last wish, is to go for a walk. If nothing else, maybe gravity helps.
Mm-hmm.
So I think she just said, I want to go by myself. And how does she physically do it? Don't mess with the determination of a woman.
Good point.
That's all I got to say.
Good point. All right. Anything else you want to talk about in this episode, my darling?
I find it very interesting that not all of the eggs hatch, that only like half of them hatch.
Yes.
Because, I'm wondering, are any of these eggs that are not hatching ones that Daenerys ends up getting?
Oh, I love this idea. I thought about that too. And I'm so glad you brought it up. That is such a cool idea.
And And then the second thing I wanted to make sure we thought about is that Rhaenyra, when she tries to go overhear what's happening between the two Strongs, the father and son, oh, you're bringing disgrace, blah, 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 blah. She goes out through that secret passageway that we saw her go out as a kid. And I thought that was a really neat thing.
And also one of the other things too, they show a scene with Laena and Rhaenyra as she's carrying the baby. She's walking down the same hallway where she had that confrontation with Rhaenys, where she's like, this is the order of things and you're going to do that. And she's carrying the baby to the queen. Again, everything has a purpose, or at least Mary and Blake Media Commandment, everything should have a purpose. So there's a reason why they're showing this hallway outside where they have this conversation or confrontation between Rhaenys and Rhaenyra.
It gives you a good concept of where you are.
Yes. And just the natural, subtle, unspoken stuff between characters, theme work, and where the characters are. I really like that.
Yes.
All right. Who are you rooting for, Mary, and who is the bad guy?
I'm rooting for Rhaenyra, actually. Princess Rhaenyra, I'm here. I think that what they did, having us be in her perspective during such a difficult experience, birth and then having to walk around, I think right then and there, we were told by the director, this is whose team you need to be on.
Yes, fair enough.
This is who you need to feel bad for. She is being treated poorly and she's trying to do nice things and do a little mea culpa. So I think we are being told finally, this is who you want to root for.
Okay.
And who do I think is the bad person? I mean, obviously Larys Strong. Golly, get out of here.
All right. Who am I rooting for? Here's the thing. I am rooting for, I'm going to root for Viserys Velaryon, the eldest.
Jace.
Yeah, I'm rooting for that child.
I mean, good luck. You're not going to win.
My sense is that he is going to be playing a big role in what's coming down. And because of Sir Harwin and all the stuff that Sir Harwin represents, at least to us as viewers, I think there's only going to be that's good that comes from Jace.
Okay.
That's my sense.
I've been taught by Game of Thrones.
Good point. The bad guy? This is the bad guy. Aegon Targaryen. I mean, from how we seen him, again, yanking his wanky out the window, not a good look. And it's only going to get worse. He's got some weird things going on. Gonna be a bad dude.
Who's got some weird things going on?
Who's
His
that?
sister.
Yeah.
It's gonna need to lose another eye.
She might be Malvo weird.
She might warg.
That's true.
Warg into bugs.
Good point. I like that idea.
I'm here for it.
You never know. So that's my bad guy. That is that. All right, Marvin, you ready to close this out?
Sure am.
Let's do it.
Thank you so much for taking the time to check out this podcast. Sharing is caring. You can take a screenshot of this podcast and pop it on your social media walls or even in your stories, and feel free to tag us at Mary and Blake Media, and we might be able to reshare and give you a shout out. You can leave us a rating and review. The written ones are the best, particularly in Apple Podcasts. Whether or not that's how you listen to it, that is the biggest way that people are going to be finding our podcast.
And Mary, someone did answer your banner call on the podcast app. Let's see if I could find it here. Hold on real quick, because I gotta make sure I see this. I want, because someone did answer the banner call, I want to make sure it gets read. And it comes from JJ4852. It says, answering Queen Mary's banner call, Your Grace, I have thoroughly enjoyed your posts to the masses. Your conversation and viewpoints have increased my enjoyment of How to Train Your Dragon. House of the Dragon. I hope that your father continues to call in with his takes. My Lord Earl, please know that when you give your daughter laughter, it spreads to all of us everywhere. And Mary, even though someone did answer your call, we do have another bad review.
Oh no.
All smoke, no flame.
Oh.
This one comes from Use for Church. I was able to get halfway through before turning this podcast off. House of the Dragon premiere for the House of the Dragon premiere review. Lots of complaints about how the premiere didn't grab them or impress them, and the subtext is they liked Game of Thrones better. And that's fine, but at least have some analysis to illustrate your rationale. Case in point, Mary complains there is a gratuitous sex scene and cited the brothel scene. But why not explain what the sex took away or failed to add to the scene? Or how it was a distraction? And why does Blake continue to reinterpret what Mary says? Lastly, when he started to downplay Rhaenyra's selection as crown princess, I gave up. Why do I continue to reinterpret what my wife says? Because that is what's called a conversation. Yay!
So thank you everybody who was able to write a positive review. We truly appreciate you.
And we do in fact appreciate the negative reviews too, because you know what? At least you took the time to review us and you're listening.
Hey, it's all good. On that note, friends, that uplifting note, my name's Mary.
Go out and review us again. My name is Blake.
Review us like you're Viserys, okay?
Yeah.
I want you to look at those reviews like they are your grandson and you're pretending that there's a different nose on it.
I want you to drive around in your carriage with your little stick figure dragons.
Yeah. My name, oh wait, I already said
We already did the names.
Dracarys. We should say it like a Rhode Islander. Dracarys.
Dracarys.
Dracarys. There you go.
Dracarys, yo.
Dracarys. It's not even like a D, it's a J.
Yeah, Dracarys.
Dracarys. A Vhagar.
Yeah. A Vhagar.
A Vhagar.
Yeah.
Vhagar, you're wicked big.
Yeah.
This shouldn't take too long.
Just get the wicked big flames.
Vhagar. Vhagar. Wake up. Oh my god, he's wicked old. Vhagar.
The alarm's going off, Vhagar.
Vhagar, I'm done. Okay?
Can we go to Dunks?
Please. Dracarys.
Can you heat up my coffee?
Dracarys. Vhagar.
Here's my ciggy.
Oh my god.
Light my
Vhagar.
ciggy for me.
Oh.
Come on, we're going to the packy, Vhagar.
Jabroni.
We gotta go. We gotta go get some Sammys.
Oh, man. Your cousin from Boston.